The past of Earth holds secrets that no one has yet unraveled. Lost civilizations, mysterious artifacts, the lines on the sands of Peru, and sunken cities beneath the water. Strange sounds from deserts, oceans, and glaciers. All of this exists right now, yet many do not notice. Unexplained catastrophes, meteor impacts, massive floods, and forest fires have left traces that history books remain silent about. Metal hammers encased in quartz in India, perfectly polished ceramic vessels from Mohenjo-Daro, mysterious underground platforms. All of this points to civilizations that existed long before us. The knowledge and technologies of these civilizations surpassed our own, and we still know very little about them. Many of their achievements we still cannot replicate. Even modern satellites reveal geometric patterns and massive constructions, created thousands of years ago, which remain a mystery to this day. This video is a journey through millions of years. We invite you to see the invisible, hear the unheard, and touch the mysteries hidden beneath the surface of our planet and within its history. Are you ready? Close your eyes and dive into the whispers of the earth, into the secrets that are still waiting to be discovered. What if right beneath your feet lie miles of hidden history? Layers of earth, built up over millions of years, are not just soil. They are the planet's archive. Each stratum holds traces of vanished worlds we know so little about. And here, below the surface, may lie the answer to the biggest question of all. What if we are not the first? Each layer is like a page in a giant book. At the top are roots of grass, modern insects, shards of glass, and traces of our cities. A little deeper is ancient soil, where remnants of trees that grew long before us can still be found. Farther down are stony layers that remember prehistoric forests and oceans. And the deeper we dive with our imagination, the farther back in time we travel. Picture the continents shifting over millions of years. Forests turned into deserts, seas rose into mountains. Places where cities stand today were once ocean floors, and drowned plains were once dry land. Earth moves slowly but relentlessly, erasing old outlines and drawing new ones. But what if the layers we call empty hold traces of something we cannot yet imagine? We know of dinosaurs because of their fossils. We know of the first humans from rare bones and stone tools. But could entire civilizations have disappeared, leaving only chemical fingerprints, altered rocks, unusual isotopes, and strange structures not yet recognized? Earth keeps its own time. Our idea of 10,000 years ago is just a blink, but a billion years or two. The human mind struggles to grasp such scales. And yet deep in that abyss of time may lie the answer to the question, what if we are not the first? As you descend through these imagined layers, feel the vastness. A single grain of sand in your hand might once have been part of a rock formed before plants existed on Earth. Clay used for pottery may have settled long ago on the floor of an ancient sea. Every molecule around us is a traveler through epochs. This is where our journey begins. We stand on the surface, yet in a moment we can pass in thought through miles and billions of years. We will start with myths and legends, but remember that Earth itself is an enormous archive still unread. And now, as you have sensed the depth of time and the scale of the planet, it is time to move on to the legends of ancient worlds. Close your eyes and feel time slowing all around you. Millions of years turn before you like an endless book, and on these pages lie stories we know only in fragments. Stories of worlds that existed long before humanity appeared. Atlantis, Lemuria, Mu. The names of these mysterious lands have been whispered across centuries in legends and myths. They live not in stone and metal, but in memory, slowly growing through generations in the imagination of people. In ancient India, texts about the Third Yuga speak of civilizations with knowledge of the cosmos, nature, and life far beyond our understanding. This knowledge may have been lost, but its memory survived in myths, rituals, and oral traditions. In Mesopotamia, myths tell of cities drowned by water, of peoples who vanished overnight, of wise teachers who taught humans to read the stars and understand the cycles of the earth. In Greece, we hear of repeated cycles of destruction and rebirth, stories of heroes and gods whose actions left traces in nature and in human consciousness. Notice how different cultures pass on the same idea. Civilizations arise, flourish, and then disappear. It is a quiet reminder that life and intelligence can emerge, develop, and dissolve, leaving only soft imprints barely visible to the eye. Each legend is like a whisper from the earth, preserving the memory of those who lived before us. Imagine Atlantis, not just an island, but an entire continent with stone-paved streets, buildings stretching toward the sky, and decorated with symbols whose meanings have been lost. Lemuria, a tropical world covered in dense forests where intelligent beings might have lived in harmony with nature, creating cities of wood, leaves, and resin that left almost no trace in stone. Mu, a city sunken in the ocean, where coral wraps around ruins and sea life slowly erases the memory of people. All of this can be seen only in the imagination, yet imagination allows you to feel the reality of what might have been. Myths are the dreams of the earth. They do not demand proof. They do not rush to reveal everything at once. They gently guide your imagination, showing that knowledge can live in memory, symbols, and rituals. Civilizations may have used materials and methods we cannot yet imagine, blending intelligence and nature in harmony. Their technologies could have been organic, subtle, and almost invisible, leaving only traces in consciousness and legend. Hidden in myths are extraordinary details, glowing mechanisms, knowledge of stars, ocean currents, and mysterious energies modern science is only beginning to understand. Perhaps these are distorted memories of what once truly existed, civilizations whose traces dissolved into time. Comparing myths across cultures reveals striking parallels. Almost everywhere there are stories of great floods, of people who understood the stars and the cycles of nature, of cities that disappeared underwater or into forests. These similarities make you wonder if the memory of ancient worlds passed from culture to culture across thousands of years, hiding in stories and rituals. Myths do more than tell of the past. They invite reflection on the present. What will we leave behind? How long will our cities, our knowledge, and our technologies endure? And if someone looks millions of years from now, what will they see in the layers of the earth? What will they hear in our stories? As you sink into these legends, feel their quiet presence. They softly remind you that Earth's history is far longer than human memory. We are only temporary witnesses, and myths are a bridge to those who came before. In these stories there is silence and grandeur. They invite you to listen, to see, and to slowly imagine worlds we barely know. In every grain of sand, in every crystal of mineral, a memory of the past is stored, but it is almost invisible. Civilizations that have come and gone left their marks in fragile materials, and most of it vanished without a trace. Water, wind, ice, and volcanoes. Each of these instruments of time works quietly, slowly, relentlessly erasing what once seemed eternal. Imagine a city built from wood and clay. Decades later, the roofs rot, the walls crumble, and the ground swallows everything that was not stone or metal. Metal rusts, plastic breaks down, paper turns to dust. Even stones once thought unbreakable crack and crumble under the power of time. Earth is a skilled archivist, but its handwriting is quiet and impermanent. Think about the modern traces of humanity. The plastic we scatter slowly dissolves and is absorbed by soil and oceans. Isotopes released from fuel and industrial waste have penetrated the atmosphere, oceans, and glaciers, leaving chemical signatures that will persist for millions of years. Shifts in vegetation, soil contamination, new animal species. All of these are subtle, almost invisible traces that only careful observers of the future will be able to see. Look at the cities. Steel and concrete can resist decay for centuries, but millions of years will almost completely erase them. Roads, bridges, skyscrapers slowly break apart, become part of the landscape, merge with hills and valleys. Beneath the ground will remain only faint hints, altered soil structures, unusual concentrations of minerals, chemical anomalies that reveal the presence of intelligence. Imagine you are an archaeologist from the future. You slowly explore the layers of the earth, searching for patterns in the alternation of sand, clay, and sedimentary rock. Somewhere here, civilizations passed whose cities have long disappeared. Their structures are barely visible lines, hardly distinguishable from natural processes. Their cultures left only chemical and geological fingerprints, unusual isotope ratios, traces of agriculture, thin layers of charcoal or pollen that should not be in those layers. Even the most durable materials obey the laws of nature. Metal corrodes, ceramics crack, glass turns cloudy. Only exceptional conditions allow objects to survive millions of years. But even then, their meaning can be lost. Shards of pots and tools tell only of the presence of intelligence, not its purpose, not who it was or why it acted. And yet, sometimes Earth leaves clues. Unusual stone formations, abnormal concentrations of metals, layers where flora and fauna changed in an instant. These are quiet signals, as if the planet itself were whispering, "Someone was here." These traces are hard to notice and easy to mistake for natural changes, but a careful eye can catch a rhythm that does not match the chaos of nature. Picture a real example. Soil layers, where the carbon content sharply differs from what is natural, or isotopes left behind after ancient volcanic or industrial technological processes. Millions of years from now, these tiny changes will be what you, the future researcher, can read as the mysterious whisper of vanished civilizations. Also consider how little science knows about such traces. Each new layer of soil, each artifact found can change our understanding of the past. Perhaps we are not seeing what has already passed beyond our perception, what left only barely visible imprints. Everything we call natural sometimes carries within it the secrets of intelligence we do not recognize. Feel the scale of time. Millions of years stretch out, washing away and smoothing everything we consider important. And in this soft, endless flow, you begin to hear faint, almost invisible echoes of the past. Chemical traces, geological anomalies, invisible lines left by intelligence. They quietly whisper that civilizations can come and go without leaving bright monuments, but still leave a trace if only there is someone who knows how to listen. Wherever humans have left their mark, mysteries sometimes appear. Mysteries that time has not completely erased. Let's begin with the pyramids. The Great Pyramid of Khufu, with its precise lines and massive stone blocks, still amazes us today. How could people without modern machines lift hundreds of thousands of tons of stone? Why are these structures aligned so perfectly with the cardinal points and with stellar constellations? Pyramids in other parts of the world, in Mexico, on Sicily, and in China, repeat these strange proportions and geometric harmonies, creating the feeling of a hidden global network of ancient structures. Now we move to Göbekli Tepe on the hilltops of modern Turkey. Stones carved with animals and symbols, arranged in circles, are thousands of years older than Stonehenge. There are no traces of ordinary homes here, only signs that might belong to an advanced culture whose purpose remains a mystery. Imagine walking between those massive columns, feeling the breath of ancient time, as if the stones themselves remember the footsteps of those who placed them. Baalbek in Lebanon greets us with giant stone blocks, some weighing hundreds of tons. How were they moved and set with such precision? Even today it seems almost impossible. In Micronesia lies Nan Madol, a network of artificial islands with massive granite walls built in the middle of quiet lagoons. Picture an enormous stone labyrinth. The mystery of Nan Madol is how people moved and placed such heavy blocks without modern technology. Stonehenge in England is famous for its connection to the sky. The massive stone blocks are aligned to mark solstices and other astronomical events. Imagine slowly walking around these stones, feeling their weight and chill, and in the silence trying to sense the builder's intention. Pueblo architecture in New Mexico, USA, especially Chaco Canyon, shows giant residential complexes and astronomical structures built with remarkable precision. Across the millennia, you can almost hear the footsteps of the ancient inhabitants leading us through narrow corridors and wide plazas. Pavlopetri, the sunken city in Greece, preserved an entire network of streets, buildings, and courtyards beneath the water. It is more than 5,000 years old, one of the oldest known underwater cities in the world. Yonaguni in Japan amazes with its unusual shapes, straight lines, steps, terraces, and platforms that look carved by hand, though some scientists believe they are natural formations. Pumapunku in Bolivia astonishes with its perfectly fitted stone blocks and complex joints, as if they were made with modern tools. Sacsayhuaman in Peru impresses with its gigantic stone walls where individual blocks weigh hundreds of tons and are fitted with extraordinary precision without the use of cement. In all these places we feel a subtle thread. Civilizations that came before us left not only stones but also a sense of presence, a consciousness that wants to be noticed. We walk slowly, listening to the silence, and in this silence, stories appear. For a moment we stand in the middle of these places, allowing ourselves to feel their scale, their mystery, and their grandeur. We are not looking for answers. We are not trying to explain everything with logic. We simply hear the whisper of the past, seeing how the planet keeps its secrets and how, perhaps, someone before us left traces we can barely perceive. In the morning whisper, you can hear the voices of those who lived here thousands of years ago. Their customs and rituals are more than actions. They are quiet clues passed down through the depths of time, as if someone invisible guided them, showing when to sing, dance, or remain silent. Ancient people watched the stars, the sun and the moon, the behavior of animals, and the flow of rivers. It seems these clues were not random. Each ritual held a logic hidden in symbols and movements. A solstice dance was not just a celebration of light, but a precise map of the year, a reminder of when to sow, when to harvest, and when to prepare for winter. Rituals with water, fire, or earth were ways to maintain balance between humans and nature, to read the signals of the world that might otherwise go unnoticed. The mystery of these practices can still be felt today. Why can a dance under the moon clear the mind? Why do songs repeated for generations affect the growth of plants and the health of people? Perhaps the ancients heard the whisper of the earth itself, sensed its rhythms, and embodied them in actions that became habits and traditions. It is remarkable how many rituals appear in different cultures, despite distance and time. Harvest festivals in Asia, Latin America, Europe, and Africa take place at the same time of year. This is no coincidence. It is as if the earth itself whispers its cycles, and wise listeners pass them on to their descendants as secret guidance. These practices are more than traditions. They teach us attention and teach us to see the invisible, the breath of the wind, the whisper of water, the heartbeat of the earth. In every movement, every song, there is meaning, tested over thousands of years. They remind us that even if stones and buildings disappear, knowledge can be preserved in dance, song, and collective memory. Close your eyes. Imagine yourself among people who, thousands of years ago, followed these clues. Feel the warmth of the fire. Hear the songs. Watch the sky. You are part of a chain of time, and every sound, every gesture carries wisdom suggested by the earth itself. Every ritual, every gesture, every symbol whispers that we are not the first to try to understand this world. Deep in time, civilizations studied the stars, the land, and the water as carefully as we do today. Their logic, rituals, and habits left invisible traces. We notice signs, rhythms, and imprints that existed long before our era. Perhaps we are merely the keepers of knowledge, the continuation of a long chain of civilizations whose stories have been almost erased by time. The earth remembers more than we think, and these customs are the quiet whispers of those who walked its surface long before us. Rituals of purification with water and fire still exist. In Mexico, ceremonies use fire and smoke to wash away negativity, while in Japan, festivals purify rivers, cleansing souls and the surrounding space. The logic of these rituals may be connected to a deep understanding that water and fire are forces capable of transforming matter and life. Perhaps the ancients observed this for thousands of years and preserved this knowledge in tradition. Flood myths appear in nearly every culture. The Sumerian epic of Gilgamesh, the biblical story of Noah, India's Manu, legends of Mesoamerican peoples. Modern researchers interpret them as memories of real catastrophes. Floods, rising seas, events that left marks in landscapes and human memory. But there is another layer. These stories seem to convey secret knowledge about the cycles of the earth, about how civilizations can rise and vanish, leaving only echoes behind. Even simple daily rituals, greeting the sun, planting trees, giving thanks for food, can be echoes of ancient civilizations. Perhaps long ago, humans or other beings first noticed the rhythms of nature, and these rhythms were preserved in traditions we continue today. So every ritual, every celebration, every ancient tradition is a small window into the past. They remind us that we are not the first to try to understand the earth, the stars, and life. We are merely continuing a long chain, where every step, every ritual is the whisper of civilizations left long before us. Across the world, people have long told stories of those who came down from the sky. In Egypt, pharaohs called their teachers gods, and ancient texts mention mysterious mentors who showed people writing, astronomy, and how to build grand temples and pyramids. In Mesopotamia, the Sumerians drew on clay tablets beings who descended from the heavens, teaching them laws and culture. In the Americas, legends of the Maya and Aztecs tell of divine teachers who gave knowledge of the stars, cycles of time, and sacred geometry. Despite thousands of miles and different eras, the theme repeats: visitors from the sky, luminous teachers offering wisdom. Modern proponents of the ancient astronaut theory see these legends as evidence of extraterrestrial visits. They point to the impossible precision of pyramids, stone structures, and astronomical observations for ancient technology. Perhaps these stories are more than myths. Perhaps they preserve memories of encounters with beings who possessed knowledge far beyond what humans could achieve at the time. Even without definitive proof, the feeling remains. These legends are a bridge between the sky and earth, between reality and imagination. Listening to them, we touch ancient wisdom and understand that humanity has always sought a connection to something greater than itself. And when you gaze at the night sky, it may seem as if the myths whisper, "We are not alone," and on our planet there were those who glimpsed beyond the ordinary world. These legends are quiet traces of past civilizations, and perhaps hints that knowledge and mystery come to those who are ready to see. Imagine yourself as a traveler from the distant future. You walk across the earth we know, but you see it through the eyes of a civilization that will appear thousands or even millions of years from now. Everything we take for granted will be a mystery to them, a coded message from a vanished world. The Nazca lines in Peru might look like simple drawings from the ground, but from above, they transform into huge, clearly defined figures. Animals, geometric patterns, lines, and spirals. Scientists still debate who created them and why. Perhaps they were ritual symbols for the gods, maps of the night sky, or signs for those who could see them from the air. In essence, these are traces of an ancient civilization, their language written in the sand, a quiet puzzle preserving the secrets of millennia. Today, satellites reveal straight lines stretching for miles, strange geometric patterns, and unusual structures in deserts, jungles, and under the water. Massive platforms sometimes appear resembling abandoned cities, intricate labyrinths, and precise circles carved into the earth, remnants of civilizations long vanished. It is as if the earth itself leaves clues, hinting at ancient knowledge and a hidden language of the planet. From a bird's-eye view, patterns emerge that repeat across continents, as if ancient engineers left the same message in the sands of Peru, the stones of Bolivia, and the shores of Japan. These objects are a bridge between past and future, a reminder that our civilization is just one link in a long chain, and that what we build today may become a mystery for those who come after us. In these moments you feel it. The world holds its secrets, and we are merely temporary keepers of its story. Imagine holding an object in your hands that is millions of years old, yet it looks as if it were just created. Imagine tiny, almost perfect metal spheres, found in South Africa within rock layers millions of years old. Their smooth surfaces, symmetrical shapes, and precise proportions seem impossible for primitive technologies. They are too perfect to have been made by chance. Scientists call them the Klerksdorp spheres, and even today they debate whether they are natural formations or the product of some ancient, forgotten civilization. Some researchers suggest that these spheres might have been tools, machine components, or even part of a system of knowledge lost along with entire worlds. These spheres seem to hold secrets of working with matter, of patterns and principles understood long before us. They suggest that ancient people could have possessed knowledge about nature, precision, and harmony. Looking at these tiny metal spheres, you feel the breath of millennia. They seem to whisper, "We were here before. We knew more than you think." Like a bridge across time, these spheres connect our world today with worlds that existed long before us, leaving secret hints and inviting us to wonder if we are merely the heirs of their knowledge. Or consider the Baghdad battery, a simple vessel with an electrolyte capable of storing electricity. It was found in ancient layers, long before humans had learned to use energy. It feels as if someone wanted us to find these clues when we would be ready to understand their meaning. It's not only objects that hold mysteries. ancient DNA, genetic anomalies, unknown species of plants and animals, all hint at a past filled with knowledge and beings we can barely imagine. The Earth keeps layers of life and wisdom that are not always visible to us. Modern research raises questions, debates, and wonder. But one thing is clear. These mysteries show us that our civilization is not the first. Someone was here before, leaving traces we are only beginning to notice. As you let your eyes drift over these artifacts, you can feel the breath of time. Every discovery, every anomaly, is a quiet message from the past, a bridge between the worlds that came before us and the world we are creating today. The Earth remembers more than we realize, and perhaps we are only temporary keepers of its endless story. Imagine archaeologists carefully removing layers of soil, scanning stones, recording every trace. At first glance, everything seems explainable. Bones, pottery, stone tools, familiar signs of human life. Yet sometimes, objects appear that do not fit into the usual framework. In India, metal hammers have been found encased in quartz, dating back millions of years. Metal inside stone seems impossible for ancient people. In South America, stone axes and arrowheads with unusual alloys have been discovered, their precision resembling modern technology. But it's not just tools. In some ancient tombs, archaeologists find objects that seemingly should not have existed in their time. Metals and alloys not yet invented, ceramics, miniature mechanisms, and ornaments with intricate carvings, repeating with mathematical accuracy. Sometimes bones show strange anomalies, rare gemstones appear, or objects bear mysterious symbols whose meaning eludes us. These discoveries are fascinating and unexplained. Scientists approach these findings with caution. Some explain them as coincidences or later interference, while others suggest they may be evidence of civilizations we do not know, whose knowledge and skills were lost to time. In science, caution is key. A theory must be confirmed, a hypothesis tested, yet sometimes the evidence challenges our understanding of the past. For example, in the tomb of Tutankhamun in Egypt, around 1323 BCE, gold masks with astonishing precision, jewelry with lapis lazuli, and rare copper-gold alloys were found. Some fine details, like golden threads and micro-carvings, appear as if made with tools that, according to our understanding, did not exist at that time. In Mohenjo-Daro, India, around 2500 BCE, ceramic vessels with perfect symmetry and polish were discovered, impossible to achieve by hand without modern equipment, along with finely crafted copper and bronze needles of extraordinary precision. In the Sabuda Cemetery, Bolivia, around 1500 BCE, stone and metal objects appear with geometric precision, including cylinders and spheres, whose weight is hard to explain for manual crafting of that era. In Maya tombs, Central America, around 600 CE, sarcophagi and burial chambers with polished stone slabs and mysterious carved symbols have been found, still undeciphered and not fitting into the known writing systems of the region. All these discoveries are fascinating and unexplained because they demonstrate a high level of craftsmanship and material knowledge that seems beyond the reach of ancient cultures. They make us wonder if we are seeing traces of technologies and knowledge from civilizations that came before us. Modern methods, satellite imagery, and advanced dating technologies sometimes confirm strange facts, sometimes challenge them. And yet, there remains a sense. The Earth holds secrets deeper than we can explain. Lines, strange shapes, artifacts. These are quiet messages from a time when we were not the first. We see them only through the delicate mesh of our understanding, trying to connect the past with the present, opening our eyes to the fact that the history of Earth is more complex and mysterious than it seems. And in this quiet reflection on science and its limits, a feeling emerges. Perhaps we are merely another civilization reading the records of those before us, like pages of an ancient book, half erased by time, yet still speaking to us through stone, metal, sand, and silent tombs that guard their secrets beneath layers of history. Why do we seek to know? Everything around you breathes with time you have never seen, worlds you have never known, and civilizations that may have existed long before us. Why are we drawn to the unknown? Why does every mystery, an ancient inscription, lines in the sand, a strange stone, or ruins beneath the water, capture our imagination more than an ordinary story? Because in these whispers, there is a connection with those who came before us, with a secret that has survived centuries, and with the depths of the earth, hiding secrets millions of years old. We can imagine several possibilities. Perhaps we are the first to reach this level of consciousness, to build cities, leave messages, and explore the world as we can. But perhaps we are something else, merely a link in a long chain of civilizations that studied the stars, built megaliths, created rituals, and vanished, leaving only mysterious traces behind. Every stone, every line, every ruin could be a message, a code, or a monument to what existed long before us. Sometimes these traces defy logic, as if left by a consciousness that understood more than we do. And in this sense of mystery, there is a special beauty. The pursuit of knowledge, of understanding, of touching the unknown. It is both curiosity and humility. We see the Nazca lines, underwater cities, anomalous artifacts, and precise megaliths, and we realize the world keeps its secrets, and we are only temporary guardians of Earth's history. In these discoveries, there is no rush, no need to explain everything immediately. Sometimes the mystery itself is more important than the answer. Sometimes the feeling of wonder, the slow immersion into it, offers greater insight than dry facts ever could. As we reflect on ancient civilizations, their knowledge, technologies, and rituals, we begin to feel a connection with time stretching far beyond our own lives. We sense that our civilization is only part of a much greater story of Earth. And perhaps one day our own traces, lines, buildings, habits, and knowledge will become a mystery for those who come after us. So ask yourself, do you believe in ancient civilizations? Do you think the Earth held thousands of years of history before we appeared? Or perhaps the traces around us are quiet whispers and reminders that our story is just one episode in the endless cycle of life on this planet. And as we listen to these whispers, we learn to see more deeply, feel more slowly, and breathe more fully, embracing mystery as a part of our existence. A gentle breeze brushes past. Suddenly, you hear a low hum, as if the earth itself is breathing. It is not the sound of the wind, nor the call of distant animals. It is something else, strange and ancient. Scientists call these phenomena singing sands, earth vibrations, or desert hums. Yet no one fully knows where they come from, or what they are trying to tell us. In some places on the planet, ocean waves create melodic sounds when water meets special sands or coral formations. These sounds can last for hours, gently swaying the mind. In Antarctica and the Arctic, researchers detect low-frequency signals, called earth songs, vibrations rising from deep within glaciers and tectonic faults. Almost inaudible to the ordinary ear, they are sensitive to special instruments and can be recorded as the music of the planet. These sounds have surrounded humans since the earliest times. Perhaps the ancients considered them the voices of gods, whispers of spirits, or the breath of the earth itself. In cultures across Africa, South America, and Asia, rituals were often accompanied by these natural melodies, the wind in the trees, the flow of water, the hum of the ground, all helping people feel the rhythms of the world, understand the seasons, and anticipate events. Close your eyes and listen to these sounds, and you feel an invisible connection to the past. Every vibration is like an echo of civilizations that walked the earth thousands of years ago. These sounds are not just natural phenomena. They are secret messages of the planet, soft and profound, reminding us that the earth is alive, and its story is audible to those who know how to listen. Gradually you realize the world is filled with music that cannot be seen with the eyes. It hides in the sands, the oceans, the icy mountains, and if you listen closely, you can catch the breath of time, the whisper of millions of years, inviting us to pause, to slow down, and to hear the earth. The earth keeps secrets in its scars, quietly telling the story of past catastrophes. In Siberia, the Tunguska event of 1908 flattened thousands of square kilometers of forest, leaving strange tree patterns and a lingering mystery about the cosmic explosion that never formed a crater. Even today, scientists study the unusual effects of the blast to understand how celestial objects can change the earth instantly. In India, layers of sediment in the Chennai region reveal evidence of ancient massive floods, where water swept over entire settlements, leaving unusual arrangements of stones, fossilized trees, and signs of human habitation buried beneath mud and sand. These floods, though long forgotten in written history, shaped the land and preserved a hidden memory of life before modern records. Across the Americas, in places like the Black Hills of South Dakota, traces of ancient forest fires remain. Charred tree remnants and layers of ash in the soil show that fires once raged over huge territories, forcing animals and humans to adapt or move. Some tools and pottery pieces are found in these burned layers, giving a glimpse of life during extreme conditions. Even meteor impacts leave quiet messages. The Chicxulub crater in Mexico, caused by the asteroid that contributed to the extinction of the dinosaurs 66 million years ago, shows how sudden cosmic events can reshape ecosystems. Rocks thrown across the globe, changes in the atmosphere, and the extinction patterns all whisper about the fragility and resilience of life. These examples are reminders that the Earth is alive with memory. Craters, floods, and burned forests are not just destruction. They're the planet's way of recording events, leaving clues for those who can read the landscape. Each anomaly is a silent story, inviting us to pause, look closely, and sense the deep history hidden beneath our feet. Your gaze lifts to the night sky, where billions of stars hold their secrets. It feels as if, among the distant starlight, you can see not only the past, but also those who may have watched over the earth long before us. In the myths of Egypt, Mesopotamia, India, and the Americas, there are often mentions of teachers from the heavens, divine beings who descended from the stars to show humans knowledge of construction, astronomy, and rituals. Their images appear across continents, as if ancient civilizations were using the same celestial textbook. Perhaps this is a symbolic reflection of contact with something from the cosmos, or the memory of knowledge humanity received before it could fully understand it. When you look at the geometric patterns of Nazca, the precise blocks of Pumapunku, and the lines and platforms visible from space, it feels as though the Earth itself keeps records that we are not the first. Perhaps someone observed the planet from above, guiding civilizations, helping to create structures, leaving marks that would reach us only after millennia. These thoughts invite us to slowly lift our eyes to the stars and reflect. If our ancestors received hints from the cosmos, does it mean we too can learn from the universe? Perhaps knowledge flows through generations and worlds, and our role is to continue the chain, connecting Earth and the stars. Close your eyes and imagine. The night sky and ancient cities merge into one, and every building, every line on the ground, like a trace left for those who will come after. Perhaps this is how the universe preserves its lessons, and we are only temporary witnesses and keepers of this cosmic memory. We walk the paths left by those who came before, feeling the breath of time and the touch of ancient hands. Every stone, every curve of a line, every sunken city, a letter from the past, inviting us to reflect that our civilization is just one link in an endless chain. Perhaps somewhere beyond the horizon, invisible cities and unread messages wait for us, waiting until we learn their language. And as we gaze upon the world with cautious wonder, the earth softly reminds us, its mysteries are infinite, and we are only temporary witnesses of the great spectacle of life, unfolding over millions of years. Ancient civilizations, observing the stars, learned to understand the cycles of nature, the timing of planting, tides, changing seasons, and even the flow of rivers. Their celestial maps were more than astronomy. They were a connection between Earth and the cosmos, a kind of language of the planet that helped humans survive and thrive. Stones and megaliths were positioned to mark solstices and equinoxes, and lines on the land could reflect the movement of the moon or specific constellations. Every observation, every structure, every ritual was both a practical tool and a sign for future generations, as if the ancients were leaving hints that earth and sky are one whole, to be studied together. As Carl Jung said, the past never dies. It is merely sleeping in the depths of our memory. Perhaps ancient civilizations left us not only stones and lines on the land, but also knowledge, habits, and rhythms that we continue to feel, even without noticing. We are only temporary keepers of this great legacy, walking in the footsteps of those who came before, learning to see the world through the eyes of the past. And when you look at the stars and the horizon lines, ask yourself, what will we leave behind? Share your thoughts, because the mystery of the past lives in our attention and curiosity.